Have you ever caught yourself lying in bed next to your guy, wondering what's going on in his head right now? You might be thinking about your to-do list, whether you look attractive in this light or if he's really satisfied with you. Meanwhile, he's probably thinking about how much he craves certain things, but won't actually tell you. Here's the thing: when it comes to intimacy, men don't always open up. It's not because they don't have desires, it's because they're afraid of being judged, afraid you might think they're weird, or even worse, afraid of making you feel pressured. So instead, they keep quiet, and that silence can leave you guessing, or worse, thinking you're not doing enough. But here's the truth: what men secretly wish you do in bed isn't always wild, complicated, or over the top. In fact, most of the time it's really simple. It's about the energy you bring, the little signals you give, and the way you make him feel in those moments. And when you understand what those things are, you don't just blow his mind physically, you also build a deeper emotional bond. Because intimacy is not just about sex, it's about connection. It's about creating an experience where he feels seen, desired, and safe to be himself. When you do that, you become unforgettable to him. You become the woman he can't stop thinking about long after the moment is over. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 things he secretly wishes you'd do in bed. These are the things he's probably too shy to say out loud, but that would completely transform the way he feels about you, your intimacy, and your relationship. When it comes to intimacy, so many women have been conditioned to believe that men always want to be the initiators, the leaders, the ones driving every moment in the bedroom. And yes, it's true. A lot of men are perfectly comfortable taking that role. They like the thrill of chasing, of pursuing, of setting the pace. But here's the part that no one tells you. Men love, absolutely love, when a woman flips that script from time to time and takes the lead herself. It makes him feel wanted in a way that words can't describe. Think about it. How many times in life does a man actually feel truly chosen? Most of the time, he's the one who has to build up courage, risk rejection, and put himself out there. When you decide without hesitation that you want him and you show it physically, it takes away that question in his mind of, does she desire me as much as I desire her? That moment is powerful because it reassures him not just sexually, but emotionally. Now, taking the lead doesn't mean you have to dominate every single aspect of intimacy. It doesn't mean you have to become someone you're not or act out of character. What it means is sometimes you start things before he does. Maybe you grab him and kiss him passionately before he even expects it. Maybe you climb on top of him and don't wait for him to make the first move. Maybe it's as simple as whispering in his ear what you want right now. These little acts send a message. I'm not just here for you to want me. I want you. That's intoxicating. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to be aggressive or theatrical about it. You can take the lead in subtle, playful ways. You can set the mood by putting on music, lighting a candle, or pulling him close in the middle of an ordinary moment and turning it into something extraordinary. Men notice those gestures. They register it as she's creating this moment for us, not just waiting for me to make it happen. That kind of initiative is deeply attractive. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I feel nervous? What if I don't know how to lead? Let me tell you, you don't have to have the perfect plan. Men aren't looking for perfection here. What they're looking for is that spark of enthusiasm, that boldness that shows him you're not just going through the motions. Even if you're awkward, even if you laugh halfway through, that doesn't kill the moment. In fact, it makes it more real, more fun, more connected. Because intimacy isn't about a flawless performance. It's about two people being present and showing they want each other. And I'll tell you something that might surprise you. When you take the lead, you don't just turn him on physically, you also give him a break. Men sometimes feel a lot of pressure to constantly be the man in every situation, to carry the weight of confidence, energy, and direction. When you step into that role for a while, you allow him to relax and enjoy being wanted without all the responsibility. That's a gift you give him. It makes him feel balanced in the relationship and safe to let go. So the next time you're together, remember that one of the sexiest things you can do is show him that you're not just waiting for him to desire you. You're actively desiring him. Take control for a moment, surprise him, guide the experience. Because when you do that, he won't just see you as someone who's there to receive his affection. He'll see you as someone who chooses him, craves him, and makes him feel like the most irresistible man alive. That's the kind of energy that doesn't just make intimacy unforgettable. it makes you unforgettable. When it comes to intimacy, one of the most underrated yet powerful tools you have is your voice. And I don't just mean whispering something naughty, because you saw it in a movie. I mean using your words to connect, to guide, and to make him feel like what he's doing is having an impact on you in real time. You'd be surprised how many men go through intimate moments silently wondering, am I doing this right? Is she enjoying this? Is she even here with me? They don't always ask, but the question lingers in their head. And if you're silent the entire time, if you don't give him feedback, he's left guessing. Now, let me tell you something: men crave feedback, not because they're insecure, but because they want to know that they're pleasing you. They want to know that what they're doing is working. And when you give them that reassurance, even in the smallest ways, it lights them up. Saying things like, yes, that feels amazing, or don't stop, I love that, may seem small to you, but to him, it's like fuel. It builds his confidence and makes him want to give even more. Here's the other piece. Talking during intimacy doesn't have to be scripted or over the top. In fact, the more natural it is, the better. It can be playful, teasing him, saying you've been thinking about this all day. It can be affectionate, telling him how good he smells or how much you love being close to him. Or it can be encouraging, guiding him gently by saying, right there, keep doing that. These words aren't just about turning him on, they're about deepening the connection in the moment. You're not just bodies moving together. You're two people communicating, reassuring, and responding to each other. And I want you to understand this, men. Don't just want you to moan or talk because it's sexy. They want it because it makes them feel like you're present. You're as invested in the moment as they are. It eliminates that silent insecurity and replaces it with certainty. She's here with me. She's enjoying this. She wants me. That sense of presence is powerful. It makes the experience more emotional, not just physical. Now, for some of you, the idea of talking during intimacy might feel uncomfortable at first. Maybe you've been conditioned to stay quiet, to let him lead. Or maybe you feel self-conscious about saying the wrong thing. But let me tell you, there is no wrong thing when you're being genuine. Even if all you say is, I love this, or I love you right now, that's more than enough. It's not about crafting some perfect line. It's about letting him into your experience. And the more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Here's another secret. When you open your mouth and speak up, you're also creating safety for him. You're showing him that you're comfortable enough to express yourself, which in turn gives him permission to express himself too. Suddenly, intimacy becomes a dialogue instead of a silent performance. And that dialogue can bring you closer than any physical act on its own. So the next time you're with your man, don't underestimate the power of your words. Say what feels good, express your desire, guide him with encouragement. Because when you do, you're not only heightening the physical pleasure, you're creating a deeper emotional bond. You're making him feel capable, masculine, and connected to you in a way he'll never forget. And believe me, when a man feels that combination of confidence and connection, he'll be addicted, not just to the sex, but to you. One of the biggest misconceptions women have about intimacy is thinking they need to be perfect to be irresistible in bed. Perfect body, perfect moves, perfect timing, perfect performance. But let me ask you this, when has perfect ever felt truly exciting? When has a polished performance ever been more attractive than raw, genuine passion? The truth is, men don't want a flawless script. They don't want you to look like you're trying to reenact a movie scene. What men actually crave, and what makes intimacy unforgettable for them, is your enthusiasm. See, enthusiasm tells him something that perfection never could. It tells him you're not just there to do the thing. You're actually enjoying it. You're present, you're engaged, and you're letting yourself get lost in the moment. And I'll tell you something, when a man sees you light up, when he feels your excitement, it does something to him. It doesn't just turn him on physically, it reassures him emotionally. He knows he's giving you pleasure, and that makes him feel powerful, desired, and connected all at the same time. Think about this, a woman who is smiling, laughing, and playfully letting herself go will always be more attractive than a woman who looks stiff because she's too busy trying to get it right. Men aren't watching your every move with a critical eye. They're not scoring you out of 10. They're tuning into your energy. They're paying attention to whether you're in it with them. That's why enthusiasm is the sexiest thing you can bring into the bedroom. And here's the best part. It doesn't require you to do anything extreme. You don't have to pull out complicated moves or try to be someone you're not. Enthusiasm can be as simple as responding to him with genuine sounds of pleasure, grabbing him closer when you're feeling it, or letting your body move naturally instead of holding back. It's about allowing yourself to be free, unfiltered, and unapologetically present. That's what makes it real. Now, here's where perfection actually gets in the way. If you're too worried about how you look, what you sound like, or whether you do enough, you're in your head. And when you're in your head, you're not fully present. Men can feel that. They can sense when you're distracted, self-conscious, or holding yourself back, and nothing kills the mood faster than feeling like the other person is disconnected. On the other hand, if you let go of those insecurities and just focus on how good it feels to be there with him, the energy shifts. Suddenly, he's not thinking about anything else either. He's completely locked in on you because you're giving him your most authentic self. And let's be honest, enthusiasm is contagious. When you bring passion into the moment, he can't help but match it. You set the tone. If you're having fun, he's having fun. If you're excited, he's excited. It becomes a shared energy that elevates the experience for both of you. That's what makes intimacy memorable. Not the perfect technique, not the flawless execution, but the feeling that you both completely lost yourselves in each other. So if you ever find yourself thinking, am I doing this right? Am I enough? Stop and ask yourself a different question. Am I enjoying this right now? Because if you're enjoying it, he's enjoying it. If you're enthusiastic, he feels desired. If you're present, he feels connected. And that combination is far more powerful than anything you could ever rehearse or perfect. Remember this, he doesn't want a perfect performance. He wants you. He wants your real reactions, your authentic passion, and your genuine presence. That's what will make him crave you long after the moment is over. One of the silent killers of passion in long-term relationships is routine. When things in the bedroom become predictable, when it's always the same moves in the same order, at the same time, it stops feeling like an adventure and starts feeling like a checklist. And here's the thing, men won't always say this out loud, but most of them are secretly wishing their partner would be open to exploring new things together. Not because they want some wild, out of control fantasy every night, but because variety keeps the spark alive. It makes intimacy feel fresh, exciting, and worth looking forward to. Now, let me be clear. Exploring new things doesn't mean you have to do anything extreme or uncomfortable. It doesn't mean you suddenly have to become someone you're not. What it means is showing a little curiosity, a little playfulness, and a willingness to experiment. That could be something as simple as changing the environment, moving from the bedroom to the couch, or lighting candles to create a different mood. It could mean trying a new position you've never done before, or introducing something playful like a blindfold or a massage. These small changes signal to him that intimacy with you is never boring. It's alive, it's evolving. And when you're open to exploration, you give him something that goes far beyond physical variety. You give him permission to share his own fantasies, to let you into the things he's always been curious about but too afraid to mention. When a man feels safe to open up like that, when he knows you won't judge him, it creates a deeper level of intimacy. Suddenly, sex isn't just about release, it's about discovery. It becomes a playground where both of you can bring your desires to life, one step at a time. Here's what makes this even more powerful. Trying new things together strengthens the bond between you. Because when you experiment, there's always some level of vulnerability involved. You might laugh, you might get it wrong, you might feel silly at first, but those moments of imperfection are what bring you closer. They remind you that you're a team, and nothing bonds two people like the experience of stepping into something new and learning together. Now, some of you might feel nervous about this idea. Maybe where you're worried he'll ask for something you're not comfortable with, or that you'll come off as awkward if you suggest something different. But here's the secret. You don't have to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Exploration can be gradual. You can start small and playful. You can test the waters with a simple, hey, want to try this? And if you don't like it, you laugh it off and move on. What matters is that you're showing him that you're open, that you're willing to keep growing together instead of letting things grow stale. And let me tell you, men find that openness incredibly attractive. When you show curiosity, it makes him feel like you're invested in the experience, not just going along with it. It reassures him that intimacy with you won't become mechanical or predictable. Instead, It feels like something he can look forward to every single time because he never quite knows what surprise you might bring. That sense of anticipation, it's addictive. So don't underestimate the power of variety. By exploring new things together, you're not only keeping the passion alive, you're deepening the trust, the playfulness, and the connection between you. And that's what makes intimacy not just something you do, but something you experience together. Because at the end of the day, the greatest fantasy isn't about a wild act. It's about being with someone who makes you feel excited, safe, and fully alive. If there's one thing men wish women knew about intimacy, it's this: presence is everything. You can try new moves, wear something sexy, or say all the right words. But if your mind is somewhere else, he will feel it instantly. Men may not always be great at reading emotions in daily life, but in the bedroom, they're incredibly tuned in. They can sense when you're distracted, self-conscious, or just going through the motions. And nothing kills connection faster than feeling like your partner isn't really there. Being fully present is about showing up with your whole self. It's not just your body, it's your energy, your attention, your desire. When you're locked into him, when you look into his eyes, touch him with intention, and let yourself be immersed in the moment, you create an intimacy that goes far beyond the physical. It makes him feel like the center of your world in that moment. And that's one of the most powerful gifts you can give a man. Now, let's be honest, we live in a world full of distractions. Maybe you're thinking about how you look. Maybe you're worrying about your to-do list tomorrow. Maybe you're comparing yourself to some unrealistic image you've seen on social media. But the truth is, he doesn't care about any of that. He's not analyzing your hair or your body in microscopic detail. He just wants you. He wants your attention, your focus, your raw, real energy. And when you give him that, when you let everything else melt away, you become unforgettable. Think about how different it feels when someone is fully present with you in conversation, when they're not on their phone, not looking around the room, but actually listening to every word. You feel valued, important, special. The same applies to intimacy. When you give him your full presence, he feels chosen. He feels like you're not just physically there, you're emotionally invested. And that's what makes the experience stick with him long after it's over. Here's the other part: presence isn't just for him, it's for you too. When you allow yourself to be present, you actually experience more pleasure, because instead of worrying about how you look or whether you're doing enough, you're focusing on sensation, on connection, on the moment. That's when intimacy stops being a performance and starts becoming a real shared experience. And believe me, he can feel the difference. Now, how do you cultivate that presence? It starts with letting go of judgment. Stop worrying about whether you're good enough or whether he's comparing you to someone else. He's not. He's with you. And if you let yourself sink into that truth, it becomes so much easier to focus on the present moment. It also helps to use small, grounding gestures. Look into his eyes, slow down your breathing, run your hands across his body with intention. These little acts pull you out of your head and into the experience. Presence is powerful because it combines both the physical and the emotional. It's not just about what you're doing, it's about how you're being. And when you're fully there with him, he feels it. He feels desired, appreciated, and deeply connected. And that kind of intimacy doesn't just satisfy him, it bonds him to you. It makes him want more, not just of the sex, but of you. So remember this: the sexiest thing you can bring into the bedroom isn't a new trick, a perfect performance, or even the boldest fantasy. It's your full, undivided presence. Because when you're truly there with him, you're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him something far rarer: the feeling of being completely seen, completely wanted, and completely loved. And that, more than anything else, is what makes you unforgettable. So there you have it: 5 things he secretly wishes you do in bed. And notice none of them are about being someone you're not. They're not about having the perfect body, performing like an actress, or doing anything extreme. They're about connection. They're about showing desire, presence, playfulness, and a willingness to explore. Because here's the truth: what keeps a man coming back to you, what makes him think about you long after you've left the room, isn't just the physical, it's how you make him feel. When he feels wanted, when he feels confident, when he feels connected, that's when intimacy becomes unforgettable. That's when you become unforgettable. Now, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, which of these 5 things could you bring into your relationship today? Maybe it's initiating more. Maybe it's using your words to guide him. Maybe it's simply letting yourself be more present in the moment. Whatever it is, choose one and try it and watch how quickly he responds. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button because it tells me you want more content like this. And if you haven't already, click subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video where I'll share even more secrets about how men think and what makes relationships thrive. And now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 do you think will make the biggest difference in your intimacy. I read every single one, and your story might inspire another woman watching this right now. Remember, intimacy isn't about perfection. It's about presence, confidence, and connection. And when you bring that into the bedroom, you're not just giving him an amazing experience, you're building the kind of bond that lasts far beyond the bedroom.